Bet Online continues to be the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting. From the earliest odds to in-game live betting, Bet Online provides you with all the action and the ability to watch the games as they happen. With the largest selection of odds on everything from football, the NBA, and college basketball, NHL to UFC. Head to Bet Online today and don't forget to use promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet Online, the game starts here.
Like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports Coma, yeah, this is where we do that. 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 Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shade for the championship. Bucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy, then you probably smell the crooked referees or Roger Goodell. Probably like this, and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this, and I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Talk about maybe this is the first time fans heard from you in a while. Just kind of maybe the state of the organization, firing Dennis, looking for a new coach. Is it a rebuild? Is it a restructure? Just kind of where you all are as an organization right now.
Yeah, I think, look, that's part of what, part of what we haven't done yet is really look back and evaluate where we're at from a personnel standpoint. Obviously, this was a tough season, not what we expected. What jumps out is the amount of injuries, and we've got to do a deep dive into that. Are there things that are preventable? Are there things that we missed in the evaluation process, for example? So all that is work that needs to be done. I'm not a big, I think that you can, rebuild as it means different things to different people. I think that you can turn around a season pretty quickly in the NFL. We've seen it with other teams, and there's a lot of good things on our roster, and there's some things that we need to adjust and fill in. Part of that is going to be the viewpoint and the vision that the new head coach has. So there's a lot of questions there I can't answer.
Do you feel
in the end, I'm a fan of this team first, and now I have to go out and find a coach who can get us back to the playoffs and hopefully championships. We're open for questions.
So Dan Roach here in the front.
Robert, just when was the decision made in your mind? When was it that you felt you needed to let him go?
This whole situation evolved, but I'd say over the last month, I went back and forth. And I don't know, in my life and my business, I make certain decisions. I know when it's right, and it just happened. And it was very hard because the personal relationship I feel for Gerard and the human being he is. And I felt guilty. I put him in that position, but we're moving on.
Did you sense something was not right? And if you could expand on that, what caught your attention that something wasn't right?
Well, in the important decisions in my life, I've always said I measure 9 times and cut once. And this was one of those situations. I guess the main thing for me is I felt we regressed. The high point of everything for me was winning in the Cincinnati game. And then in mid-season, I just think we started to regress.
Significantly has fan reaction to the product on the field and to Gerard specifically played into your decision?
Well, I'm the biggest fan. So I understand. And, you know, since the day we bought this team and I realized what a privilege it was and how lucky we were as a family, that this is the only business we're involved in where I see ourselves. We don't own this team. It's owned by the fans of this region. And we're custodians of a very special asset of the community. And that's why that helps me try to make decisions that if it was just personal, it would be different.
All right. Shout out to the fam. Appreciate y'all for being in this thing, man. This is Saints show, but I thought that I'll share with the mighty Who Dat Nation what a real owner looks like. What a real owner sounds like. What true accountability looks like. And what is said to change the dynamic. Totally different. It's a big difference. But anyway, shout out to the fan. Appreciate y'all being in the stream. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You're now rocking with the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, where we have intense, entertaining, educating, and enlightening sport talk from your favorite sports fam. Shout out to y'all. Appreciate y'all being in the live, man. We started the broadcast off here, and this is some news that the mighty Who Dat Nation is tuned up for. It's about Coach Aaron Glenn, man. The latest news about Aaron Glenn prefers Jets over Saints. Now, is that any really a big surprise to the Who Dat Nation, right? Aaron Glenn has told people the Jets are his first choice for a head coaching job. And it's a part of it, man. Like, and we kind of alluded to it here on the Sports Coma. I talked about it several times. Why he played there as a player. The Jets are an organization that he knows how to fix them. He knows he can go there and succeed. He's not scared of the big market, knows the ownership, and he's ready. I mean, you want to talk about a guy that moved up the ranks the way he did, from a lone playing career to being a defensive backs coach up until a defensive coordinator, and now ready for the coaching search. I mean, you couldn't have walked it out even better. This guy is Mr. Football, and he's respected across the league, and he knows how and comes from teams. Think about the stops with the Saints, with all the stuff that we were dealing with here. Then he goes to the Detroit Lions. For many years was a laughingstock team that couldn't get it together. And then all of a sudden, look where they are now with good leadership and his defense really helping out during the playoffs, kicking ass. And people have forgotten, to a great extent, the failures of the Detroit Lions from the past. The Lions are a strong team in the NFC and the NFL, hell, right now. And it's due to the leadership. It's due to football people knowing how to construct and build a football team. And not only put talent together, but also how to train, cultivate the talent, and how to mitigate, manage players, personnel. And then the greatest thing is the ability to adjust and still have success. That's what it's about. Adjusting on the fly. It's not complicated. Just seeing what our options are and just going over them and making sure we get them straight. That's how most successful people in life operate. That's how people are able to be more thorough than other people. Like, how is this guy able to do it, or this girl, a guy or gal, able to do this and have success here where most people can't? It takes something, man. It takes something that most people don't have, meaning they don't have it in their beings. It's just the fact that most people have been through things that have cultivated them to be able to deal with some of the harsh things in life. And when you're a battle-tested individual, man, it's only a matter of time before your options open up for you to be able to have success. So anyway, I started the broadcast off with a little from Mickey Loomis, the VP GM of the New Orleans Saints, making excuses, and then moved it into Robert Kraft, the Patriots owner. And I often forgot about that family. Like, man, if Tom Benson was here, he would more than likely at some point, well, he'd been old, but, I kind of go back in my mind and hear that. I remember him addressing, like when the losing was going on, him addressing the losing, him over in the interviews, and toward the back end, he started to get tired of the family base going at him, because we've always been a rough, tough support base. We've always been that. The last 20 years, a lot of the diehards, the pillar post people who the culture's built on, they forgot those people, the Buddy D's and all these other people, the ride or die ones who don't forget their roots. We're not talking about these people, the Johnny come latelys, the people that just are a party to the current or the last 15, 20 years of some of the success of the New Orleans Saints. They don't remember all the funk and the stink. They don't understand that you jumping into something that been going on. And a lot of the current success or the failures because a result of a long list or a long line of the Saints doing it the wrong way. If you're going to have success, you got to do it the right way. And the Saints are not doing it the right way. Making excuses and not having the plan and not doing your homework is a bad look. And I hate to say it because I love my team, but my team is a joke. That's why they're not alone. They're no, some Saints are no longer looked at as a serious contending team. How could they be? How could they be with the bad decisions that we've made over the years? And like I said, the Jets over the last several years have been worse than the Saints, but some kind of way Aaron Glenn says, hey man, I'd rather go to the Jets. So, and it's like, well, Q, that's one person we have to keep looking. Let me tell you something, family. This is who they were aiming their gun at. And we've been saying it all the time. And let me speak to some of these cats out here, man. Some of these people that don't understand. The message is the message. What's going on with the Saints, I didn't create it. The message is the message. If you want to hear some fluffy bullshit about what's going on with the Saints, that don't exist, family. The fluffiness and all that don't exist. You have to deal with what's real, and what's real is that this team is about to tank, is about to go down unless they figure out something drastically and really aim at the things that need to be fixed. The Saints had their opportunity over the last 4 years and have blown their opportunity with bad coaching and a bunch of crappy decisions and a ton of excuses. No leadership, no accountability, and an owner who's more interested in making money than she is in hiring the correct personnel to turn the team around. None of these people are serious about what they do. Kraft talked about getting back to winning and winning championships. He said that. When are the Saints going to talk about winning championships again? They've been sucking up and living off of us off that one championship for a long time. So at some point, somebody got to hold their feet to the fire and not play the get along game, man. At some point, you got to stand for something or fall for every damn thing. You got to stand on. You got to have some sense, man. Shit, this ain't a game where you just got a bunch of dumb people running around and they just blindly following it, man. What kind of fool are you, man? This is business, man. Don't you understand? This is business. And either you're going to get the short end of the stick or you're going to get the long end of the stick, which means either you're going to benefit or you're not going to benefit. You have to utilize your power. So Aaron Glenn telling the Jets that he prefers the Jets over the Saints, and the Jets have been a lot worse than the Saints over the last several years. The Jets are worse in terms of wins and losses, but he sees them as an opportunity where the Saints were pointing at Aaron Glenn saying, that's our guy. Very interesting. We'll see what's going on here. But that was rumored about Aaron Glenn. Not a surprise to me, fam. It's not. Because people who know, they don't fall for the fluffy press conferences and the lies from people coming out here. I've been telling y'all this. This is nothing new. If you go back and listen to the archives, I've been talking when it wasn't even talking and telling this, even when it wasn't even popular to do. It wasn't even popular to even talk like this about the Saints. And people were saying that Q hates the Saints and all that bullshit. If I hate the Saints, I would scrap the Saints and be talking about something totally different. If I can't, you know what I'm saying? It don't benefit me. I could talk about whatever. I got news shows I got on. I got, basketball, college football, pro boxing, everything. But the Saints are a team that is my team that I grew up on. And I just don't like the direction of the team. And the way they're operating really foul and greedy and disagreeably. So somebody, I'm going to use my bully pulpit to reach out to the rest of the people who want the truth, and so that we can do something about it in terms of stopping it. How? By not supporting this product. We need to see more, and we'll see more. The pressure is on, man. The pressure is on. These people are not serious about winning, in my estimation. But Aaron Glenn says Jets over Saints. We'll see if that all hammers out at the end of the day. But that is the news that have been dropped by that. Hey, man, they were worse than us wins and losses family. And that man said, I prefer them over the Saints. And you're like, well, is that any surprise? It's not a surprise. Not a surprise at all. The Saints are 60-something odd $1 million in the red. They got an old team, the oldest team in the NFL. They got an untenable QB situation. They have not drafted very well. They got a bunch of free agents about to hit the market that they can't afford. They have to then work all these contracts into the back, and then you basically twist in the wind because you don't have any support once you get here. Everything will be thrust on your shoulders to do it. You'll have a general manager who will literally disappear on you and go play around and do whatever he wants. A owner that just doesn't know anything about nothing going on here, just wants to make money and smile all day. Got a guy who's supposed to be the president that's on the board of a bunch of hospitals doing whatever, God knows whatever he's doing. And this is a football team. Crazy, man. I just wanted to play that to say, damn, I remember what that used to feel like, to have some type of intelligence and guidance and leadership at the highest levels, as opposed to what we've been seeing now. That guy, it's just ridiculous. Anyway, let's head on to the next cycle of things, man. Saints head coach search, where we go. Update: NFL insider reveals no urgent interest in Saints in Mike McCarthy, right? One insider says there's no urgent interest from the Saints when it comes down to Mike McCarthy, right? The future of ex-Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy will be a major storyline to follow this offseason, says John. Shout out to John Hendricks. The Saints are expected to have big interest in him, but Aaron Glenn is the current favorite in the betting world. Insider Josina Anderson gave some updated information on Tuesday night where things are with the Saints when it comes down to McCarthy, which is quite interesting. Here's what she said on her X feed. The Saints currently don't have urgent interest in Mike McCarthy. They may do a due diligence interview. Pre-existing familiarity is there as a former assistant Saints coach. At the moment, he's not being elevated over current options the team is considering. A pre-existing familiarity there for a former assistant Saints coach. The Saints could also schedule an interview earlier. They could also ask for permission to speak to him. Well, his situation being publicly dubious, just like the Bears did. They did not. Loomis' son being a Cowboys employee was not only cause for hesitation. Again, now not saying that he won't talk. I'm saying I wouldn't classify them as having urgent interest at this time. McCarthy does make sense for the Saints a few different ways. And General Manager Loomis did mention on Monday that the team isn't in a hurry and that they were going to follow their process to get the best candidate they can do for the job. Loomis said he doesn't have to sell the Saints, as many national analysts have deemed New Orleans as an unattractive job. Loomis says, we're not recruiting, we're interviewing, and they're interviewing us. I don't like selling. He says, I don't think selling is right. I don't think we need to do that. There's going to be questions. Each candidate is going to have things that are important to them. So that's some of the stuff that we talked with the McCarthy thing. And there's other reports that's coming out that speaks about Mike McCarthy and the fact that the Saints now, with the latest information, could it be that Mike McCarthy could get more interest from the Saints, being that Aaron Glenn has a preference? Unless the Saints say, hey, we'll offer you more money and more control, this could be a maneuver by Coach Glenn to get both teams to dig deep, not just in terms of creating a bidding war, which would be very intelligent, which in my business mind would probably be a good thing to do, but also not only just a bidding war in terms of money, but perhaps in terms of power. What kind of power do I have with your organization? Do I have the ability to have some general manager duties where I can be able to override this, that, and the third, or be able to have more of this? What am I going to have outside of money here that I can delve into? See, and that's as a coach, because you have to look at the extenuating situations for the Jets, who Woody Johnson is a guy that wants to win. So he's not going to be as patient as Mickey Loomis is, because they don't care. They don't care at all. They're making money. There is no sense of urgency. They don't care. If the team goes out next year and goes 500 or whatever the case may be, he'll sell it. Now, this guy, Loomis said that the comment about him not selling or whatever the case may be is not, it doesn't make any sense, because I agree with a lot of the national analysts. The Saints situation is one of the worst situations because of the money situation. Like, you taking on a team, you can't pick your own quarterback, and you're $60 million in the red. You got the oldest team in NFL, and you have teams in the NFC where you're going to be coming to that have better talent than you and have began the process of moving ahead of you insofar as the development of said young talent that they had an opportunity. Remember, Bryce Young, second year, they got Atlanta have Michael Penix there. So you've seen a youth movement already occurring with these two teams. The Saints have not started any renewed situation. They're still playing the old man game. And it doesn't make any sense. And that's what I'm saying. Tough decisions have to be made here, because let's look at it commonsensically. At some point, you're going to have to pull the plug on some of these guys for real, because you are a 5-12 team. I want to say 5-win team. It doesn't make any sense to have all these old ass players on a 5-12 team, and other teams with younger people are beating you or handling you. So that's the only justification for having old players on your team, because it keeps you at the top of the division, or it makes you a competitor. If that's not the case, then you should get rid of these guys or do something, because they're cluttering up the money, all this kind of stuff. So all this is going to be difficult, because Mickey Loomis is making these requests, and is making an untenable type situation for whoever the coach is going to be. And usually when that happens, the good coaches says, I'm good. Because there are a lot of openings that's still out there where the money's not an issue. The quarterback is not an issue. The ownership is not an issue. And it's a thing. I would probably say, if somebody asked me, Q, what was the worst opening in the NFL, I would have to say probably it's the Dallas Cowboys. I would say it was the Dallas Cowboys, because the worst thing of having a ownership that doesn't care like we have is having a owner who wants all of the credit for whatever happens. That's two peas in the pod right there. Who wants credit for everything, just the absolute narcissist that wants credit for success of the team. Making billions off the team ain't enough. I want all the credit. Medals in the guys playing. Like, I would consider the Cowboys the worst situation. And Deion Sanders is not going over there. What are you doing? You can talk to him till you're blue in the face. Deion Sanders, I wouldn't take that Dallas Cowboys job. Hell no. Stay in Colorado for another several years or so, and then sooner or later you could pick your call coming out of there. He ain't going nowhere. He got all that money and he built himself up, got the class coming in there. He ain't going to the NFL under Jerry Jones. No, that's not going to happen. But as far as the Saints are concerned, the Saints, in my opinion, they have a lot of issues. So if you're not going to get a credible coach, like they're not even, Pete Carroll is rumored to be interviewing with the Bears. That was something that was out there. I mean, they have guys like that who Saints have no interest to wanting to talk to. not even a virtual interview with a guy like Pete Carroll. I know he's 73 years old, but Pete Carroll is a guy that's out there. Why not just talk to him? He old, Q. Yeah, he old, but so is Mickey Loomis. But, that's the type of stuff that they're looking at, because the restrictions or whatever they're throwing at the Saints, I don't think that a lot of coaches who have a strong resume would want, like veteran coaches, like you're looking at a coach, Aaron Glenn, who been here. So he knows exactly the inside baseball of what's going on with the Saints and what he would have to work with as a head coach with this ownership and supposedly interest, or them brain trusts, as they call them, which is only one dude right at the top. And this is the problem. So who would be next? You're saying if Mike McCarthy is not the dude, or what have you, if interest is not strong with Mike McCarthy, you're more than likely end up with guys like this, one of these candidates. And like I told y'all before, and I threw this out there to my shout out to the fam, by the way. Shout out to y'all. I see y'all out there. Appreciate y'all, man, for being in the stream. Much love to y'all. Appreciate y'all as well. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and the share button, fam. As you look at what's going on with this team, these could possibly be the candidates, and you're more than likely end up with a first-time coaching candidate. You'll get a guy like perhaps a Kafka. They're supposed to be interviewing him. Cliff Kingsbury, who had experience before. And me personally, I keep getting this. I could be wrong, but I keep getting, when you go over the list of the candidates so far, and I keep getting a connection for whatever reason. It's just, I guess this is a instinct of mine that I keep getting something from the Cliff Kingsbury thing. I don't know. We'll see how that works. But man, that's what I'm getting. I'm getting like, it's something about it. I could be totally wrong on that, but we'll see. Anyway, let's hit this article right here from Saints Wire. Shout out to them. Saints will interview 3 head coach candidates this weekend, right? The Saints' next set of scheduled interviews comes this Friday and Saturday when they sit down with Commanders offensive coordinator Cliff Kingsbury, Eagles offensive coordinator Kellen Moore, and Bills offensive coordinator Joe Brady. So that's 3 offensive coordinators. Now, Kellen Moore never was a head coach before. He was only offensive coordinator. He had played in the NFL as a QB. So he has a good practical knowledge of offenses, being that he was a quarterback. That's good. Joe Brady with LSU has some college experience, had some pro experience, and he's trying to climb up to get that head coaching job. But if you're looking at potential guys, Cliff Kingsbury has an advantage there. Like, he was a head coach for several years in college. He came out of college as a hot prospect and took on the Arizona Cardinals job. It fizzled, fell apart. He ended up becoming a coordinator again. He had an opportunity to go on with which I forgot the team he was supposed to go along with. But he decided to go along with the Commanders because, ultimately, I'm pretty sure they knew they were going to pick up Jaden Daniels, and look what the hell happened. So he knew that'll put him in the rocket ship back into the NFL. And that's why I'm saying, if you look at that, and then, of course, it says, of course, they could bring now ex-Cowboys coach Mike McCarthy. And I've been hearing rumor reports here or there about McCarthy possibly interviewing with the Saints soon, early as next week. I've heard different things. We'll just have to wait and see. But the Saints have scheduled their next slate of head coaching interviews coming up this weekend per Albert Breer. Commanders offensive coordinator Cliff Kingsbury, along with Philadelphia Eagles counterpart Kellen Moore, Buffalo Bills play caller Joe Brady, will all conduct virtual interviews with the team prior to their divisional round matchups. Cliff Kingsbury and the Commanders will face the Lions on Saturday, the current team of another Saints head coach candidate, Aaron Glenn. The matchup between the 2 play callers on their respective sides of the ball should set up an exciting watch for Saints supporters. Eagles offensive coordinator Kellen Moore, who's coming off a dominating win over Green Bay, will be facing off against the winner of the Rams matchup, which it was the Rams. The winner will end up playing the Eagles in Philly on Sunday. Joe Brady and the Bills already have their hands full after a blowout win against Denver. They'll be taking on MVP candidates Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens in Buffalo. It's a game where the pressure will be most likely certainly on Brady in the offense to keep up with Lamar and company. this week will allow us to get another opportunity to further evaluate each of these candidates and get a real feel for what could potentially bring the Saints offense if given the job down the line. So there you go on that. And we'll see exactly how this will all, kind of peel it out. But like I said, the Cliff, I'm looking at it and I'm saying to myself, family, the Cliff Kingsbury, I don't know, fam. I don't know. I got a feeling about Cliff Kingsbury. Does he make sense for the Saints? If that is indeed the case, right? Cliff Kingsbury. Man. Would I be mad at a Cliff Kingsbury sign? Let me ask y'all that. Would y'all be upset about if the Saints did ultimately say, hey, man, we're going to hire Cliff Kingsbury? Would y'all be upset about that? Would y'all be upset about that? I wouldn't. I'll be honest with you. I don't think I would be upset about Cliff Kingsbury being the Saints guy. Right? I don't think I would be. And you'd be like, well, Q, I don't know about, but I don't think, I just don't think that the Saints, man, I don't know, man. We're going to see how it all goes, fam. We're going to see how it all goes in the end. But I just really don't see it. And listen, I would prefer him to a Darren Rizzi. Let's just say that, right? I would prefer him to Darren Rizzi, right? Because it's different. It's definitely different. He does have a high degree of imagination when it comes close to his offense. He's a young coach. And this is the thing, right? Because I know they're not going to interview Brian Flores. I wanted them to interview him. They're not going to interview Brian Flores. I know Weaver. We haven't heard anything from Weaver right now. And then again, Mickey Loomis did say that they're not in any hurry. So after this weekend round of stuff to happen, you should get another round of coaches coming up the following week. Like Loomis said, he's not in a hurry to hire anybody. Robert Kraft of the Patriots pulled the trigger on Vrabel, made him the man, right? Made Vrabel the man right away. It's like, man, we know who we want. They went after and got him. So if you don't land Aaron Glenn, the Jets want Aaron. Listen, the only way the Saints don't get Aaron Glenn is some kind of way the Saints outbid him or give him more money, more power, which I don't think Mickey Loomis is going to do because he doesn't want to get out of the way. He doesn't want to shake up and make any administrative moves. He doesn't want to do anything. He wants to keep his power in place, and none of these people don't want to take it from him. They don't want to shift things. They are not doing any of that. They just leave it alone. They don't care. So if Aaron Glenn, which I would probably say he ended up going to the Jets, I don't see the Saints, kind of changing his mind. He wants to be there. They want him. If you read and look at a lot of the Jets media and what they're saying about Aaron Glenn is a guy that they want. They want Coach Glenn there too. So it's only a matter of time, not that that's out there. So your options are currently McCarthy. There's some people are throwing up Joe Brady because of his connection. But, like I said, man, the most intriguing and interesting of the options to me, no disrespect to Kellen Moore or Joe Brady, is Cliff Kingsbury because he's been a head coach before. You cannot discount that. You can't discount what he was doing in college. You can't discount what he did in the pros, even though he had some failure. He had a little success, and then he failed, got fired, had to work his way back up from an offensive coordinator role to possibly being another coach. To me, it's an intriguing match with Cliff Kingsbury. Would he accept the Saints situation? I think he would. Because seriously speaking, I don't know if any of these other positions, Kingsbury is looked at as a popular choice because there are a lot of other candidates that we're not hearing about or that are being interviewed. The Saints have a few people that they want to interview and talk to, and then there's an outside line. So it's like Brian Johnson is getting interviewed by teams, and the Saints like, oh, we ain't gonna go after Brian Johnson. Why not? No interviews, no nothing, no explanation. They're just not gonna go after him. How this offensive coordinator on the market don't even have a conversation with him. So because he has options. Like I said, man, if you the boss man and not the lost man, you're gonna have options. You're gonna have options all the time. That's what it's about. Bosses have options. That's what it, you know what I'm saying? You don't have to settle for anything. You got options. So if you are the boss man and you're in a position, like you have a Coach Glenn or a Coach Johnson and some of these other coaches that are excelling and winning in their programs, they got options. They can sit back and do the landscape and follow on and look, okay, I like this over here. I like that over there. I like this over there. They can take their time on that shit. But we're going to see exactly how it all pans out. But for whatever reason, fam, I keep getting that, that it keeps hitting back to me about, what's going on with him. I keep thinking, man, I don't know. Cliff Kingsbury name keeps kind of ringing out in my mind about, what happens there. So we'll follow it and see what happens here, fam. We'll follow it to the Gill and try to figure out exactly what the next move will be in terms of the Saints and who we need to look at, who we need to get, like with the stuff about Glenn, Aaron Glenn. Mike Kafka should be sometimes after that too, after these next rounds of it. He's another guy. He was named to be the Senior Bowl, one of the Senior Bowl coaches, Mike Kafka. And there's a lot of stuff about Mike Kafka, about the mind of him, the fact that he's a student of the game. He's not the most popular choice for being a head coach for the first time, but he's another guy the Saints are interested in. Coach Weaver, who has that John Harbaugh type situation, and Saints, was set up to interview him early on. But I think Cliff Kingsbury, man, to me, is a guy that I believe probably end up being that guy. I don't know, and it's like I wouldn't have. And listen, fam, I would be surprised by that, but just me talking. Like, you can't get Aaron Glenn because of the stuff. McCarthy could be an option as well for the Saints, but they taking a time. But because McCarthy's going to play it close too, he's not going to go back into a situation where he doesn't have any power. He wants to be able to have control to a degree of personnel decisions and all this kind of stuff. I don't think Loomis gives him that, so that could be an issue. But I don't know. I keep getting the stuff about Cliff Kingsbury name. It just keeps popping up about that, man. I don't know. That is an intriguing situation, man. Matter of fact, let me pull up an article right here about Cliff Kingsbury, kind of delve into it. It's just me, fam. This is just me here because, I'm very instinctive and I just keep getting this link to him. It could very well be McCarthy. I could be very wrong about this, but I just need to share this with y'all because I've been getting these hunches. Former NFL head coach name has popped up in Saints search. This is an old article. Shout out to John Sigler for giving us an update on this one back then and giving us a ball down of it. Here's another name for the Saints head coaching search, Cliff Kingsbury. The Washington Commanders offensive coordinator and former Arizona Cardinals head coach has shown a knack for developing talented quarterbacks, but a lack of team success. He has led to some thoughts that he's best suited as a coordinator, not a top-level decision maker. However, Matthew Paris of Times-Picayune, former Commanders beat writer, says the Saints have made a request, and we know this is kind of old information, but what it is let's just look at the rest of this past. Kingsbury must be a great interview. He only went 35-40 as a college coach at Texas Tech, but parlayed that into a jump to the NFL. He went 28-38-1 with the Cardinals. Arizona and competed in a single playoff game, which was a lopsided first round loss to the Rams. He faced criticism throughout his career for fielding offenses that start hot and cool down as the season continues, failing to make adjustments once opponents stock up on film to study. That sounds just like Clint Kubiak. That's interesting. But maybe he's learned from those things. Is taking a year off from the NFL to work with Lincoln Riley. with the Trojan, he certainly put rookie quarterback Jaden Daniels in a great position with the second overall pick in the playoff game with the Rookie of the Year award waiting on him. We'll see if he goes further than initial interview or the Saints are truly interested at all. Anderson adds that the several other teams are interested. The Bears, who drafted Keller Williams out of UFC, and finally filed an interview request. So we'll see, man, what's going on here. I'm just very interested in the coaching search. We'll see how it all ends up, fam, and how it all will kind of break down, man. But in the end, the real news is, what's up with Coach Glenn? What we going to do about that? What we going to do about that? So, anyway. All right, y'all put y'all thoughts in the comment sections. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about this, man. I wanted to pop in and drop by on y'all to just talk a little Saints on this Hump Day edition. Hey, by the way, fam, for our Patreon champions, we'll be rolling out a lot of the not mock drafts, but a lot of the positional breakdowns will be starting. The first one will be coming out tomorrow on our Patreon channel. We'll be breaking down what was the first position we're looking at, which is the wide receivers. We'll be looking at the wide receivers. We'll be doing a breakdown on wide receivers for this upcoming draft. And how could they, could some of these guys help what we got going on? We'll have a boil down on some of those guys. I think we'll be doing, be breaking it down and doing position groups throughout the time. So, for the Patreon champions, so y'all will get that. And then we'll start the mocks this week for the rest of the content. But the Patreon stuff will be to boil down on some of these players, starting with the wide receiver groups. And then we kind of mix them up, go to the defensive backs, stuff like that. So the first show will be just covering the wide receivers. Final topic to talk about, fam, is Taliese Fuaga, man. ESPN named Taliese Fuaga the NFL's best rookie left tackle. How about that? Shout out to Tali. Saints left tackle was named the best rookie at his position by ESPN by Ben Solak. Shared the 2024 NFL All-Rookie team, and Fuaga won top honors on the first team. It's even more impressive when you remember that Fuaga didn't even play on the left side in college. He moved from right to left after turning pro and proved to be the team's best option at that point. Here's how his rookie season stacked up against his peers. In 2024, 17 starts, he had an 84% pass block win rate, 74% run block win rate, drafted 14th overall in the first round. Sorting out the first and second team left tackles was heartbreaking endeavor. Fuaga, J.C. Latham of the Titans, and Olu Fashanu from the Jets all delivered on or exceeded their draft billing as blindside protectors. Having to rank them is impossible and unfair, and the Jets and Titans supporters can be justifiably upset with me. With that said, I found myself most impressed with Fuaga, who I thought would take more rookie lumps transitioning from the right side to the left side and pass setting against NFL pass rushers. Fuaga still has a wart or two in pass protection, but he more than makes up for it for dominant power in the running game and strength to recover when he loses early in his reps. The future is bright at the left tackle in New Orleans. There were plenty of debate about who the Saints should have picked up number 14 last spring, but they took Taliese Fuaga. Latham and Fashanu were popular in mock drafts too, but ultimately neither of them made it to New Orleans pick. It turns out the Saints did well. They get Fuaga where they did. Fuaga was the only rookie to clinch a spot on the all-rookie team ahead of his peers. Is tremendous. We'll see whether he starts at left tackle in 2025 or moves back to the right side or inside guard, depending on how the Saints move in this year's draft. But he's clearly someone they should have on the field for every offensive snap. That's exactly the kind of pick the team must hit on to rebuild this roster. So shout out to John Sigler giving us some of the game on Taliese Fuaga and what he does so well. So yeah, bright spot indeed, man. We just need to get the rest of them on code, and we need to build our offensive line, interiorly speaking. We need to build up our depth so we can be able to be stronger with the running attack. We need to build up our interior defensive line so we can be strong in stopping the run, and that should be where you start at as a team that's a 5-win team. We got to start in the trenches because we had a lot of problems in the trenches. Not being able to run the ball, to set up play action, not being able to stop teams from running the ball so they set up play action. It's going to come back to scrimmage, to the line, getting back to the line of scrimmage building up that lines, both lines, defense and offense internally. So with that being said, man, I'm watching the Pelicans right now, 91-87. But anyway, listen, appreciate y'all for being here in this episode of the show. Y'all do me a favor. Please feel free to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. By all means, feel free to share the show on social media feed as well. Give our sponsors of our platform, Mint Mobile, Teach Henley, and Bet Online some love. The links are in the description section below. Also, our link tree for how to support the platform, our sports website, thewhothatdaily.com, in which I'm the chief editor. All of our contributors are there putting in some good work. Y'all support those guys. They put in really good work. I'm proud of them. And listen, y'all just keep doing what y'all doing and keep your keep your heads up. We're gonna get through this. I know this is kind of tough, man. But listen, man, it's just where we are right now. We got to make the right decisions as a team to get back to prominence and get back to respectability. So we got to get it right. We got to get it right. So anyway, with that being said, I'm gonna clock out on that. And I appreciate y'all. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, share the show's links on social media feed. Y'all check out our sponsors, man, as well. And I'm gonna be back on Thursday stream with Most Saints Talk. Much love. Who that?
Yeah. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports Coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, 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 Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like Elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shade for the championship. Bucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy, then you probably smell the crooked referees on Roger Goodell. Yeah, probably like this, and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this, and I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Bet Online continues to be the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting. From the earliest odds to in-game live betting, Bet Online provides you with all the action and the ability to watch the games as they happen. With the largest selection of odds on everything from football, the NBA, and college basketball, NHL to UFC. Head to Bet Online today and don't forget to use promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet Online, the game starts here.
TheWhoThatDaily.com. That's right, TheWhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who That and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, WhoThatDaily.com is your site. TheWhoThatDaily.com for the sport Who That in all of us. That's right, the Pro Shop is the platform store where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shops. The link is in the description section below. Remember, it helps the platform continue to grow. Check out the Pro Shop and Who That too.